I'm asked a very excellent question on what the Talmud and the oral tradition is and what it means to Jewish life in the past and today. We Jews believe, especially Orthodox believe, that the Bible, which we call the Tanakh, which begins with Genesis and ends with the writings, what we call the Hebrew Bible, which is what Christians call the Hebrew Bible, not counting the New Testament, that is divine, and that the Bible was given at Sinai and interpreted over the generations. For example, the Bible says, "You shall build a sukkah," a hut, on the Feast of Tabernacles. Well, what makes a hut? How many doors does it have to have? How high must it be? How strong must it be, etc.? The Jewish perspective is that along with the written law, the written tradition, the Bible, the Tanakh at Sinai, was a corresponding oral tradition that explained in greater detail the meaning of the biblical text. Then finally, after the destruction of the temple and the exile of Jewish people in the year 70 of the Common Era, and Jews were spread out to the four corners of the world, there was a concern among the rabbis that oral tradition would be forgotten. And so one rabbi, Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi, was his name, the prince, Judah the prince, in Israel, wrote what's called the Mishnah, which is a codification of laws that deal with the mitzvot, the commandments in the Bible. That was written in 250 or so. Then in 400, in Babylonia, the interpretations of that Mishnah, that legal text, which are much, much greater than the Mishnah itself, those were codified and written down by two rabbis named Ravina and Rabbi Ashi. So that's called the Gemorah, Gemorrah. And the first one in 250 is called the Mishnah, Mishnah. Together, the Mishnah and the Gemorah constitute what we call the Talmud, which is the oral tradition that accompanied the Jewish people all the way from Sinai till this very day. Now, of course, not all Jews agree. This is an Orthodox position. Others in the Reform and conservative Jewish movements will have different views. But in either case, the Talmud forms the backdrop of the jurisprudence of the legal system of the Jewish people. And it served that way for centuries. And for many Jews today, it is the primary source interpreting the scriptures that is authoritative for us even to this day.